Welcome into another episode of Three's a Crowd. I'm Preston Vargas, once again riding solo today. Before I get into this video, subscribe to the channel and leave a like. Also, college football season has come to an end. We'll get into the brackets in this show. We also have a bracket game in Bowl Mania. Link is in the description below. The first bowl games start on Saturday, so don't forget to lock those in before then. But the college football playoff will begin not this Friday, but the next Friday. So plenty of time to make your picks for those games. Like I said, link will be in the description for those games. Let's get into our main story today. It was a tough one for the Bears at Lambeau Field yesterday. The Bears lose 28 to 21 to the Green Bay Packers in what was a thrilling game. I'll tell you, we had no offense in the first half. That's the first thing. And then on defense, we had to we have to limit the explosive plays on defense. That cost us with let me take a look at all of Jordan Love's touchdowns. Christian Watson 23 yards, Bo Melton 45 yards, 41 yards to Christian Watson. And then the last one was Josh Jacobs. If those explosive plays are limited, then we would easily win that game, in my opinion. And also the run game, we we did that in the second half a lot. Barely did that in the first half. And that's what cost us. The pass rush for the Packers got to Caleb Williams. Only one sack on the day. Um, but other than that, I would say Caleb had a decent game, 186 yards, two touchdowns, and then the pick at the end to seal the game. We'll talk about the that fourth and one play later. But for me, it gives me confidence the Bears can make a run in the playoffs. I mean, even though we lost, we still learned something. I think you can come back from a 11-point deficit. You set the tone in the second half. And like I said, wasn't for those explosive plays, we could have probably won. And let me talk about the fourth and one play for a second, where he threw the pick. I don't know why he was going for the end zone there. Why not set up a play to go for the first down, and you still have two timeouts in your pocket with 20 seconds, and then go for the end zone then, and go for two to win the game. I mean, that's what I would do, in my opinion, if I were the coach. Which Ben Johnson did a good job of calling plays in the second half. First half, abysmal for both teams, and for the Bears. But in the second half, we limited the pass rush for the Packers. Caleb got out of situations where they were rushing him. But I think on the other side of the Bears pass rush, we got to Jordan Love once. We blitzed 12 times. Jordan Love went 9 for 12 on blitzes, including those explosive touchdowns. And it was pointed to me out yesterday that Kyler Gordon didn't play, obviously, but we were definitely missing him in the secondary in that game. And there were a bunch of holes in the zone that Jordan Love took advantage of. Like there was the touchdown to Melton, I think. I don't know why we had like a lot of eight guys in the box on third and short, maybe trying to prevent the run. But then you had like the rest of the guys trying to cover receivers, and Kevin Byard couldn't do it by himself. It showed you have to have more people in the zone. And I mean, it's just as simple as that. But the Bears play the Packers in 12 days from now at Soldier Field. I mean, we lost the first matchup last year. We won the second one at Lambeau Field. And I think that once they play at Soldier Field, it could be a win for the Bears. It's as simple as that. Let's get on to the our other story, the Texans versus the Chiefs. I mean, that game, I didn't see much of that game, to be honest. I watched the highlights this morning, but from what I saw, I think the Chiefs dynasty has definitely died, which is good news for some people. Let's take a look at let's break down the game, then go into the whole dynasty part of it. Patrick Mahomes, 160 yards, no touchdowns, three interceptions. Travis Kelce, he did not have he had one reception on five targets, only 8 yards. Now, Travis Kelce, 30, I think he just turned 36 or is about to. I think it's time for him to retire. You're about to marry Taylor Swift, and you've proven yourself. You won three Super Bowls, so you've more than proved yourself for sure. I think it's definitely time to retire. And then on the Texans side of things, they got to Mahomes twice, sacked for a total 12 yards. CJ Stroud, 203 yards, one touchdown, no picks. It was pretty much like I would say not a good quarterback battle per se, but the defense stepped up. Alshire got a pick. Lassiter, Petrie, defense did its job for the Texans. And I think that the Texans, they definitely have the best defense in the league at this point of the season. Right now, they go to 8-5 on the season, one game behind the Jacksonville Jaguars. Let me check the schedule. They play, oh no, they don't play Jacksonville again. They came back to beat them in that incredible comeback. But let's take a look at the Texas schedule down the stretch. You got the Cardinals, who are just collapsing at this point, got blown out at home to the Rams. They are already eliminated for the playoffs. The Raiders, who are already eliminated. And then the Chargers on the road, who, excuse me, may still be in it on that Saturday game, but I don't know. And then you got the Indianapolis Colts, who to end the season, who you beat them once at Indianapolis. Now that Daniel Jones is out for the season with that torn Achilles, so he suffered yesterday in Jacksonville. The Colts are, I don't think, will make the playoffs at this point. But the Houston Texans, I think, with their defense, they can beat anyone on the road. Right now, they would be matched up to play the New England Patriots if the playoffs were to start today. Of course, got one more game in the AFC to decide this week before we can really look into the whole playoff picture. But I think that Texas defense is the best defense in the league. So now let's get into the college football playoffs. And like I said, links in the description below for our whole bracket challenge for the college football playoffs. But let me get a look at it right here. So the first round was is going to be James Madison taking on Oregon. James Madison, the last group of five team to get in. Two group of five teams got in. The other one, Tulane, winning the American Conference. They play Ole Miss, the sixth seed. Alabama, number nine, will play Oklahoma, number eight. And then the most controversial entry, Miami going in over Notre Dame. We'll talk more about that. They'll play Texas A&M. So in the four buys, Indiana, who beat Ohio State in the Big Ten title game, Ohio State moves down to the two seed. Georgia won the SEC, they're the three seed. And Texas Tech, they're the four seed in the college football playoff. So we'll talk about Miami getting in over Notre Dame. I think that was the right decision. Like I said on Friday, I'm glad they did the right thing and put Miami in over Notre Dame, comparing them head to head. And Notre Dame, I think it's on their own doing because you got to take into account the head to head in that scenario. And also, if you didn't want to come down to this situation, you should join a conference. That's the thing. And then the tiebreakers for the ACC, Miami should have played Virginia for the conference title in the ACC. I don't know how, in what way Duke who won the ACC, by the way. That's a great win for that football program. Not discounting Duke, but they didn't deserve to be there. Not over Miami when you didn't play them. And you're tied at 6-2 in the ACC. That's the point. You need better tiebreakers, and I'm glad the ACC is going to revisit those tiebreakers. But also, I think you have to put divisions in. Like I said, you knew who you played, and yes, there one division might have been better than the others, but at least you knew who you played. It could change up the divisions every year, and still keep certain rivalries together. I think that would work well because you know who you play. There won't be controversy in terms of tiebreakers. Tiebreaker would be who you played head to head. They were tied with multiple teams. You match them up head to head and find other tiebreakers like the NFL does. And that's the thing. If you're not going to do divisions, do what the NFL does in terms of tiebreakers. And then if that doesn't work, go to the CFP rankings. That's what the American Athletic Conference did. And that's why we had Tulane in North Texas. I think they said that if there was a tiebreaker, it would go to the highest ranked teams in the CFP at the time. So, like I said, Miami into the playoffs over Notre Dame, that was the right call on that part. I did I didn't see it live, but I heard the Notre Dame athletic director on the Dan Patrick show saying that the the damage with the ACC might be permanent, but in my opinion, and the Notre Dame's a member of the ACC in every other sport except for football, where they want to maintain their independence of that sport, which they have a lot of money uh, being independent. But then again, it comes down to you didn't have a conference championship. So, in my opinion, Notre Dame should join the ACC. I mean, you already got 17 teams in it. Why not make it even 18 teams? And then now that Notre Dame got passed over, they said they took their name out of a bowl game altogether. Which I'm sorry, I think that's just a petty excuse. You don't get into the CFP, then you skip a bowl game. You know what you do there? You rob your seniors and the true freshmen who are looking to get a chance to play in a game, especially the seniors wanting to play their last, potentially their last game in a Notre Dame uniform. A lot of players don't go pro in college. That's the truth. So to play one more game that you thought you were going to play, you just robbed your you just robbed your seniors of that. And also the other bowl game skips like Iowa State and Kansas State. That's a whole other subject that I'm going to get into here. This is exactly why the college football calendar needs to change. With Lane Kiffin leaving Ole Miss at the time that he did, and then you had Matt Campbell who went to Penn State, and then you have the Kansas State coach Kleinman retiring. And I get that you needed to hire your coaches now because the signing day is this week. It used to be in February. I don't know why they changed that to be now, but they got to move that back to February, in my opinion. The whole calendar needs to change. Open the transfer portal the day after the national championship. It makes no sense that you can be recruiting during a bowl game when you're trying to win a national title. It makes no sense. They got to fix that. So, and also Bowl Mania, link in the description below. We got our three is a crowd group in that, but they got to fix the calendar And then we'll into our other headlines. The Steelers and the beat the Ravens in a controversial end. Lamar Jackson threw a pass to Isaiah Likely in the end zone. At first ruled a touchdown, but upon further review, it was dropped. It wasn't secure by Isaiah Likely. So it ended up being an incomplete pass. I believe that was on fourth down. The Steelers got the ball back. Ravens used all their timeouts, got the ball back, failed to score, and the Steelers won that game to take the lead in the AFC North. So the Ravens lose two straight games now. The other team in the AFC North, the Cincinnati Bengals, they blew a 10-point lead in the fourth quarter to the Buffalo Bills. They were in Buffalo in the snow. Joe Burrow threw back-to-back interceptions on back-to-back passes. So I think the Bengals are officially done, not mathematically eliminated, but basically done in the division race. And then staying in the AFC North, the Cleveland Browns, they lost to the Tennessee Titans at home. Tennessee getting their second win of the season. And of course, the Browns were criticized for not having Shador Sanders in the game uh, for that 2-point attempt. Didn't really see it live. They went for the touchdown late to, I think they were down. They were down by 8. They get into the end zone, try to go for 2 to tie it up. Quinshon Judkins tried to do a fake reverse. They got chased by defenders, then threw the ball in the air. It was incomplete. Basically, game over. Titans won. And then the USA, we're talking about World Cup soccer now. Is in Group D as the host country. They will play in a group with Australia, Paraguay, Slovakia, Kosovo, Turkey, and Romania. I should rephrase that. They're for sure playing with Australia and Paraguay, and they're playing against a playoff winner from either Slovakia, Kosovo, Turkey, or Romania. Either one of those teams will be playing the United States at the World Cup. That won't be decided until after March. But now let's get back to American football, NFL football tonight. We'll preview the Eagles and Chargers game from SoFi Stadium. Now, obviously, the Eagles are reeling after a couple losses in a row. Uh, right now, 8-4. They're still sitting in first place in the NFC East. So, and they now lead by 2 games after the Dallas Cowboys lost on Thursday Night Football. They can basically, if they win this game, they'll have 4 more remaining. They could probably put a stranglehold on the division at this point. So we'll see. But we'll talk about the other side for the Chargers real quick. 8-4 also. They're second in the AFC West behind the Denver Broncos. And if you don't want Mahomes to chase you, like now the Chiefs are 5 games back. They will officially not win the defense. They will officially not win the AFC West for the first time in I think nearly 10 years. So that's big. So that's another reason why the Chiefs dynasty is done. But still talking about the Chargers, they can basically they can keep the rest of the field down in a way. So we'll see what happens there. But if I'm giving it a game prediction for this one, I think the based on all the injuries the Chargers have, I mean, yeah, they're getting Omari and Hampton back, but in my opinion, I don't think it's enough. I think the Philadelphia Eagles will win this one by 7. AJ Brown had a good game against the Bears in the loss last week. I think he'll hit his stride this week, and the Philadelphia Eagles will win that game. Anyway, that's going to do it for us today. Recapping a football weekend, college and pro. So if you like this video, leave a like, share this video, and subscribe. And we have our college football playoff uh, bracket challenge in the description below. join us in our Three's a Crowd group there. Also in our Three's a Crowd Bowl Mania group. We'll link those in the description below. Anyway, we'll see you again on Friday. Have a good day.